Hi there, it's Rob here from the Gym Tin. Hope you're well. Welcome to this lifestyle tip session with me. And I hope you're well. Grab yourself a pint of water, close the doors, put this onto a speaker. Maybe you listen to it in the car or as a podcast. And welcome along to the session. Cheers. Have a drink. Okay, so this session is all about why is it important to allow yourself to have rest. And this is one of the things that I cannot stress enough to you. It is so important to get rest. First of all, we're going to talk a little bit about the difference between rest and sleep, what's important there, and why we need to do both of those. But honestly, one of the most important things is to be able to rest in between periods of work and stress and workouts and training and diet and everything else. Okay, rest is really important. Okay, so let's have a bit of a definition about what the two are. Okay, so rest is aimed at any form of increasing your physical or mental well-being over a period of time. It could be about 10 minutes in long. It could be a little bit longer depending on what you actually eat on that day. Rest is about physical and mental well-being over a part of time. It's cognitive. It's felt. It's live. You're conscious to it. It could be going out for a walk. It could be just taking some time out for some meditation. It could be sitting in a nice egg chair and just hanging in a basket and relaxing. It could be sitting out and admiring the view over the sea, etc. That's rest. Sleep, on the other hand, is a body state of mind. It's a bit of a change. What we're looking at is you're sensorily disengaged from your surroundings, i.e. you're asleep. So your eyes are shut, you're disengaged from it all, and it's a brilliant time where the body can do some really essential functions of repairing itself, mentally processing all the cognitive work that's happened to it throughout the day. And it's really important. And the majority of people just do not get enough sleep. There's so many great articles out there to read about this. There's Dr. Rangan Chatterjee. He will talk to you about the 5 pillars, and sleep is one of those principal elements. For me, if you don't get enough sleep, you are missing number one out. If you're not getting enough rest and digest, your body can't prepare. There's other people like Dr. Michael Mosley. He's written about the Fast Asleep book. He's also written about Fast 800 diets, etc., and all these stuff things. But his book about fast asleep is brilliant. I highly recommend those to you. But you're not going to get anywhere with your training if you don't get enough rest and digest. There's two sides of our body. There's the fight and flight, are very much our energy system pushing us forward, releases of cortisol, adrenaline, norepinephrine, all of these things. They're very much linked back to our primeval state of being a human being. We used to have predators and we were prey. And simply enough, they would attack. And we would either have to fight or we would flight. And if you could outrun it and you get safety, brilliant. And if you couldn't, you were dinner. And that's simply it. Likely dinner anyway. Or you could try and fight it and see if you can fight it off. So, and as we've progressed as human beings, we have less predators. In fact, we're top of the food chain, which is great, except for one thing. Those chemicals, those hormones, they don't switch off. They still remain active. So every time you might get angry and frustrated about something's annoyed you, something's cut you up on the car, on the motorway or something, or you're legging it to the bus to try and catch the bus, or you're running late for something, you're running so fast to try and get to it, you've had a massive release of your adrenaline, you're feeling pumped up and ready to go. So we need to then hit what's called the parasympathetic side, the opposite side of it, that rest and digest, that calming influence, trying to relax the body, trying to release dopamine into our body, more endorphins, feeling great about ourselves. We feel really great when we do a really good bout of exercise, when we win a tournament, or, if you're competitive, and you feel great about that. But there's a massive release of dopamine as a result, because you've created a lot of pain in your body and you feel great for having that dopamine release at the end of it, which inspires you to want to go on and become bigger and better at your sport. Rest and digestive, hitting your parasympathetic system, sitting in an egg chair, admiring the view, seeing the changes in the flowers and the clouds or whatever above you is so important. I can't stress it enough, because if your body doesn't get the time to rest and digest, how are you supposed to improve? How are you supposed to download all that information you've stuck into your brain first thing in the morning or throughout the day, what you've been learning, you've been studying on a course or whatever? All of these things, your body needs time to be able to process them. There's an optimal amount of time for each of the different things you're doing, whether it's physical, studying, mentally, working, whatever it is. Each of those requires a certain amount of rest. The amount of people that I train, and I get annoyed with them because they go, I just worked through my lunch break and I've done all my emails. Or people keep booking in meetings at lunchtimes. That's unacceptable. You need rest. You need to start pushing for that. And if your employer is making you work through your breaks, that's not a break. That's just you working. And you can't be productive. You can't work through that lunch break, that time out, when you've had a busy morning into it, and be massively productive in the afternoon. Your body hasn't had the time to rest and digest. It's critical. If you're doing a lot of training, you're trying to improve your muscularity of your body, you get to the end of the day and you're absolutely exhausted. You have not rested enough. And at that point is when you're going to reach for your comfort foods. That's when now comes out all the sugary foods or the savory snacks, whatever. You put the extra calories on, and all of a sudden you're in a massive calorie surplus. Your rest and digest hasn't done its effect, hasn't taken effect. It's not doing its job because you're just plowing on to the next thing. So when it comes to your goal setting, you really must think, what are you planning in for your food? What are you planning in for your water? What are you planning in for your exercise throughout the week? What are you planning in for your sleep? What are you planning in for your family time? What are you planning in for all of your work? All of these things need to be categorized and put into it. But one thing most people do not do enough of is plan their rest and digest, their break times into it. And if you look through your day and you're not putting in breaks and you're not getting enough time out, you need to start sticking them into your calendar. Set your phone, your mobile phone up to give you a ping or a reminder to say, stop, take that time out. Because it's so important. Because here are the reasons why. If you take that rest and digest, you will improve your mood. It happens naturally. You get time to process it. It might be that you process that stuff and it makes you more angry, perhaps. So I can argue the other side to it. And that is true. Sometimes you're a bit of you're a bit like me. You might think afterwards, go, oh, I wish I'd said that, But actually, you probably wished you hadn't because your gut reaction's already kicked in. But it will generally improve your mood. It will actually take you a few seconds out of your busy day to go, it wasn't worth it. And great, have a bit of that attitude about it, because what's the worst that can happen? It's going to reduce the amount of stress. It's going to reduce the amount of anxiety. It will decrease your blood pressure for sure. It will bring down your heart rate. If you struggle with things like chronic pain, multiple sclerosis, MND, neuromuscular pathway problems, if you struggle with any of those type of things, fibromyalgia, there's a classic, is really going to help you. And an awful lot of the clients that I train a lot of people with fibromyalgia. They just don't get time to stop. They don't stop and physically give themselves a chance to break. So the muscles are constantly under tension. They get tight in the jaw, they get tight in the shoulders, tight in the back, tight in the chest, all of these type of things. They're not stopping. And physically, I tell clients, go for a walk. Stop smoking in your break, because that's just making you more angry. So stop all the things that are going to heighten it and take that time to rest and digest. It's also going to massively improve your immune system, your immune health. You're going to get better body antibodies fighting against it. Instead of having more anti-inflammatories chucked into your body by yourself to try and calm yourself down, it's going to do the reverse. It's going to go, well, hang on a minute. Let's build some antibodies to help out. But I need some time to stop to do the housework to clean up. That's what we're doing with our bodies. That's what we do in our lives with our busy households. But when does your body get a chance to do its housework? So think about it that way. And as a result, you'll grow stronger. Your muscles will get a chance to repair. If you're constantly tense, you need time for those muscles to stretch and relax and recover. Do some yoga. Get out. Do some fresh air. If you're watching this, get in the comments for me and tell me what you're going to do to increase your rest. Because if it hasn't got through to you yet, if you want performance in life, in work, in fitness, in improvements in your food, your diet, your sleep, everything else, it has to have a rest complement to it. And if you haven't put it in there, it is your to-do from today. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you've enjoyed that. Let me just give you a bit of a recap. Cheers. Have a drink of water. So it's so important to have your rest and digest. It's important to chill out, relax, give yourself some times out. Remember about all the benefits we've just talked about, all about trying to hit your parasympathetic system, take some time out, chilling out, relaxing. The other thing I'd chuck in there actually as well is have a holiday. If you're like going, God, I can't remember the last time we had a holiday, you need to book a holiday and take 10 days out and just stop. Because if you can't remember what it's like to have a holiday, go and get one, go and book one in, and go and enjoy it, go and have an amazing time. But your other things you're going to gain, you're going to feel that improved immunity. You're going to feel that reduction in chronic pain release. I'm not going to say it's going to remove it completely. Of course, it's not. If you get all of these things in and plan them, then yeah, you're going to find an improvement that's going to decrease your blood pressure. It's going to make you feel better in your mood. You're going to be more tolerable around people, I would guess. You're going to reduce your stress and your anxiety, and you're going to be fitter all around. So yeah, it's important. I hope you enjoyed that session. Thank you so much for joining me. Comments down below as always. And if I can help, please get in contact. I'll see you next time for the next one. Cheers.